Okay, SAT reading. My favorite section, most people's least favorite section. In today's video, I'm going to give you the overview, the breakdown of how we help students increase their SAT reading score. Okay, we're going to go through the layout of the section, the different question types, the different strategies. This is the ultimate SAT reading lesson. If you follow this closely, if you internalize what I teach here, you're going to have thousands and thousands of hours of experience implanted into your brain, okay, in just 15 minutes. All right, so buckle up. Let's do it. Okay, 10 tips. Tip number 1, read the italicized passage blurb. That's this here. The following passage is an excerpt from '09. The main character is a reporter in an otherwise all-male newsroom. Very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. I would say it's helpful 30 to 50% of the time, okay? But it takes a second to read, and it has a lot of upside. This isn't the instructions, right? Questions 10 to 5, though obviously don't read the instructions. You know the instructions, answer the questions right? But the italicized part, that's got a lot of good in there. Read it. I've vowed to read it so many times after I realized how helpful it would have been, and I still struggle. So it's a commitment. Make a commitment now together. We will read the italicized blurb. I'm going to get made fun of for that, but okay. 2, skim the passage. This is the key. People think of reading and they're like, okay, then you got to read, you got to read, you got to read it, you got to understand. You got to understand every word. When I read the passage, and I get 800 every time, I don't read all the words. I don't understand every sentence. Okay, I'm using a strategy called skimming that we're going to teach you over the course of our time together. And this is why. First of all, you don't get any points for understanding the passage. No one comes to you and says, oh, you did such a good job reading the passage. And there's really very, very limited time. Okay? So we want to do a basic skim. Spend 3 to 4 of our 13 minutes on this skim. Okay? And we'll teach you how to do this and how to understand where you're at, different reading strategies, but that's very, very important. I took a class, actually a speed reading class at Brooklyn College when I was like 9 years old. I have my mom to thank for a lot of my current intellectual prowess, but I'm going to be sharing a lot of those tricks that I learned as we work together. Tip number 3, stay calm, focused, and engaged. This is key. A lot of people read the passage and they start panicking. That's it. It's impossible. I didn't understand it. I don't get it. I failed. The first section, 65 minutes. It's long. It's easy to quit. Okay? Stay calm. Realize that even if you didn't understand the passage, every question is a fresh chance at more points. Now, in math, questions get harder as you go. So if you quit, it's not as big of a deal because you're probably quitting on hard stuff. Here, there's easy questions sprinkled. And so it's on you to just recenter, right? Very, very important. Don't worry about the reading. Stay calm, focused, and engaged. Number 4, know the question types. This is going to be big. I'm going to take you in through the question types on the SAT now. Some people think, oh, they could ask anything. No, they don't ask anything. They ask very few basic question types. We're going to go through them. We'll talk strategy for them as we go. But let's first learn to identify them. The first type is a main idea question. Main idea question is a question that asks, what was the main point of the passage? What is the author trying to say? Now, those main idea questions are usually first. But when would you want to do them? Would you want to do them first when you have no idea what's going on? No. You want to do them last, after you've done the other questions, after you've gotten a grip for what's going on in the passage. As you build an understanding, they put them first just to mess with you. All right, so that's main idea. We'll talk about these strategies again, all right? Next question type, the double questions. This is the dreaded, one question asks you a question, just a basic question, doesn't have a line in it. The next question asks you, look at number 4, which choice has the best evidence for the previous one? Now, what always happens here, and if you've taken a test before, you know this happens. You do one question, you don't see any line, you're searching the passage, you're trying to figure out what's going on, you're struggling, and then you get to the next question, and it says, these are the lines, and you're like, oh, I wish I knew that earlier, come on, right? Maybe you don't get as into it as I do, but you get agitated. So we're going to show you, I'm going to break down a strategy for you here where we go step by step through each question type and how to approach it. But just for now, know this is a double question. I call the first one 1 of 2, the second one 2 of 2, the first in a set of 2, the second in a set of 2. These make up almost 40% of the reading questions. 40% of the questions on reading. That is a lot of questions that are double questions. It's the most important question type. I'm going to teach you the Islam method. All right. And that'll take you step by step, and stay tuned for that. And that's key. The next question type is the word in context. The word in context question. This looks like vocab. Okay. As used in line 26, directed most nearly means. You might look at it and say, oh, directed, he trained them, he aimed, he guided them, he addressed them. All of the choices work, okay? So this is about the context. And again, we'll break down that full strategy. But look at this, no, these are about 9 questions on the test out of 50. So almost 20% are these, slightly less. Between this question type and the previous, we're talking about 55% of all questions on the test. Key, we'll teach you the strategy for the word in context. Know the question type. Next type is a purpose question. Let's look at this one. The reference to the shoemaker, the programmer, and the apple farmer primarily serves to. That's how I like to say it. Primarily serves to. What does it mean? What does it mean primarily serves to? These are why questions. Why questions. I'll give you the basics here of what and why. The most infantile question, okay, the lowest level question is a what question. They say, what happened, right? So, I don't know, he went and he shot him, right? Basic, we understand that. Why did he do it? Well, it's a little more complicated, right? That's why some of you, whenever you have a question, you just, what, right? I hear a lot of that. What? That's the lowest question. What? You're right. Why? Next level. So you go watch a movie, and most people watch a movie, and they're just thinking of what just happened. Oh, and then Ross was with someone else, with Rachel. What did he do? Because they were on a break, right? Why is the next level. Why did he do it? Oh, well, he thought that they were on a break, right? You could get into more details. So that's why, in terms of the character's motives. The SAT takes it another level, and they ask why about the author himself. Why did the author use these words? The programmer, the apple farmer. Why use those examples? So this is like watching a movie and thinking about it from the director's perspective. Why does the camera start so close to his face? Oh, it wants to show you emotion. Or why do they start and show his back? Oh, it's supposed to shroud him in mystery, right? So if you want to work on this question type, you could even work on it while watching TV, while watching Netflix or whatever it is that you watch. Just ask yourself why questions. All right, and that's the purpose question. Very important question type. Also makes up about 15% of questions. Questions on graphics. That's, the data on the graph, and there's a graph, and there's like about 6 of those per test, and we'll show you how to do them. So we just learned the question types. What I want you to go through now is go through this passage right here and label the question types to each of the questions. Okay, so you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you'll throw the label based on the question types that we taught you. So those are the question types. So main idea, double question, word in context, purpose, graphics. That's it. It's that simple, that clean, smooth, easy, and we're going to show you strategies for each of them. Next tip, dumb down complicated questions. All questions should be asked as what, why, maybe a couple of who's, maybe a couple of wheres, okay? But they don't ever phrase the questions like that. They phrase them as like these 4-line behemoths. You just got to sharpen the questions, and I'm going to teach you how to rephrase questions. So important. Make the questions basic. Then they're easy to answer. A lot of times, people don't even understand the question. They answer the question without understanding it. If there's one thing you need to understand, it is the question. The passage, but the question. You're going to get the points from answering questions correctly, so it is essential that you understand it, all right? So that's dumbed down complicated questions. Again, we're going to train you to do all these. I'm just giving you the overview now, getting you set up. Eliminate incorrect answer choices. This should be basic, but I look at people's papers all the time, and there's no eliminations. The test book is not a souvenir. It's not something you're going to bring home, okay? The test booklet is to be written in, and one of the best things you could do is eliminate. With reading, it's not about picking the right answer. I didn't know the answer. It's about picking the best answer. And the way that you get to the best answer is by eliminating the worst answers. If you simply begin to eliminate more, your thought process changes. It changes the way you approach the test. Start eliminating today. Every time you do it. Process of elimination. I was just playing a game, Cards Against Humanity. Is that the name of it? And when you're judging, oh, this one's out. This one's out. This one's out. Okay, this one, right? So, same idea, all right? Question order matters. Tip number 7. Again, we don't want to do main idea questions first. Start with the double questions, requires zero comprehension. Start with the word in context, requires zero comprehension. Then hit the main ideas, the purpose questions, right? So we'll teach you how to restructure that. Number 8, keep moving. Very important. So many people run out of time on reading. Don't obsess. You read the question, you're not sure, go back, look. Don't not look. Eliminate. Take your best shot. Done. You're not sure, put a star next to it. All right. Know the passage types. The SAT has basically 4 types. The first is prose. That's the stories, right? And we'll talk more about all these again, but prose is fiction. Social science. That's like journalism, psychology, economics. Not science, but almost. Dual passage, the argument between two. Humanities, that's not here, but that is one of them. Speeches about women usually, or slavery or something like that, right? Politics, I think that's the way to say it. And then science is the last one. And you usually get 2 science passages. That's hardcore, nitty-gritty, scientific details. Figure out which ones you like, which ones you don't like. Maybe do the passages in a different order. Maybe learn different strategies for different passages. We'll teach you those. So what I want to do now to see that you understand the passage types is I want you to go through this file. You'll look at the 5 different passages, and I want you to label them as which category they fall into of the categories that we discussed. And then number 10 is never give up. The reading section is long. It's a doozy. It challenges you. Again, the questions are not in order of difficulty. Just stay focused. Just keep working, keep working, keep working. It's a stamina game. It really is. It's almost like an athletic sport. It requires that same kind of work ethic, okay? So never give up. So that's it. 10 tips if you internalize these. And again, we're going to flush these out. We're going to train you in doing them. We're going to do all of that, okay? But if you do that, you will see a tremendous increase in your score. And, it's simple. It's basic. Don't let SAT reading hold you back. Let's get at it. We're going to work through it. And I look forward to working with you further.